Would you do it if someone asked you to walk through the fire? Fire Walk is one of the many activities in Tony Robbins seminars. The name of this 4-day seminar is Mind Revolution. The purpose of this activity is to convert your fear into power. People attending the workshop walk barefoot on 10-foot-long, burning coals. Tony believes that fear exists only in our mind. So in his seminars, Tony teaches how to overcome fear, take action, and instill the belief in the mind that nothing is impossible to do. His basic mantra is this: nothing is impossible. If you can walk on burning coals, you can surely face and defeat any problem that comes your way in life. Tony himself used to be an unhappy and unproductive person. He lived alone. He had neither a good job nor good relationships, and was even 30 pounds overweight. But in just 3 years, Tony changed himself completely. He had become a successful and happy young man from a poor situation, along with becoming a best-selling author. He also became one of the most popular motivational speakers. After changing himself, Tony has helped many people, whether politicians, business people, athletes, or ordinary people. At just 25 years old, Tony achieved great success, wealth, and fame. You will be surprised to know that he did not have any significant degree. He had completed his studies only till high school. But despite this, he had achieved many times more than that. Life gave him a perfect partner in the form of his wife, and he met many people in his career who inspired him a lot. In this book, Tony talks about how he did all this. So, in this video book summary, called Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins, you will learn the principles he applied in his life. You'll learn the valuable lessons he teaches in each of his seminars. There is no limit to how much you can achieve. And honestly, you don't need to look anywhere else. The source of this unlimited power is already within you. Ultimate Success Formula. Tony had observed many successful people very carefully. He noticed that they all had a common pattern of success. Tony called this the Ultimate Success Formula. It has 4 steps. 1. The first step is to set your target. This step helps you determine what you really want to achieve. 2. The second step is to take action toward your goal. But sometimes your actions may need to be corrected, and instead of taking you to your destination, they divert you from the path. 3. That's why you need step 3 to monitor your actions and get feedback. Finally, the 4th step is changing your behavior, i.e. attitude, which means changing your actions until you achieve your target. Let us understand this from a story. Who doesn't know Steven Spielberg? He used excellent animation to take us to the world of Jurassic Park and dinosaurs. At 36, he was called the best director of all time. He has made 4 of the 10 best blockbuster films in history. His most successful films include E.T., Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, and Schindler's List. So, how did Spielberg start such a fantastic career? Was he a good director from the beginning? Did he have any unique advantages? No, it's not like that. He followed the ultimate success formula. I want to be a film director. This was the thought that kept running through Spielberg's mind when he was a teenager. At the age of 17, he went to see Universal Studios for the first time. They saw the sound stage. However, their group was not allowed to go to the sound stage. So what do you think? Spielberg quietly left from there. Instead, Spielberg secretly went to the shooting location and started overseeing everything. Then he met an editor of the film and talked to him for an hour. He told the editor all about the films he wanted to make. For most people, the story would have ended there, but not for Spielberg. He had the power to turn his idea into action. But he went back to the studio the next day. This time, he did something different. He reached there wearing a suit. Not only this, he also took his father's briefcase with him. He walked past the security guard as if he worked for the studio. Little did the poor guard know that Spielberg's briefcase contained no essential papers, only a sandwich and 2 candies. Inside the studio, they found an empty trailer. He sat there and placed a board in front of him that read, Steven Spielberg, director. Spielberg spent the summer like this. He would go to the studio and talk to the writer, editor, and director. Listen to them very carefully and observe very carefully what they do and how they do it. There, he learned a lot from the people around him. Spielberg continued visiting the studio daily for 3 years. Before he received his first contract, Spielberg made a simple film, which he showed to the staff at Universal Studios. The people there immediately recognized his talent and gave him a 7-year contract. At 20, Spielberg became the director of his first TV show. So you see how Spielberg followed the ultimate success formula. He first set the goal of becoming a director, and then started taking action. He used to visit the studio and learned a lot from the staff there. Unless you are determined to make your dream come true, it will remain a dream and will not come true. You can also apply this formula It doesn't matter who you are or what you have. All that matters is taking steps to move forward. Different qualities of those who do something different. Why is it that some people are not happy despite having everything in the world? Many people have a lot of wealth and fame, the support of close friends, successful careers, and the perfect partner. But in the end, they also remain disappointed and unhappy. Why? On the other hand, many people are physically disabled and suffering from poverty. Society looks down upon them, but they have emerged as winners from every challenge and are living a happy life. What is the reason for this difference? Which of these would you like to be? The answer is that it is not about any situation or challenge, but how we look at it causes the difference. What would you tell yourself if something terrible happened to you? Will you keep thinking about the negative aspects and take the wrong steps? Or will you try to improve the situation by finding something positive about that bad event? Let us understand it from this story. There were two men. The name of the first was John Belushi, who was a well-known comedian of the 1970s. During his time, he gave many memorable shows and performances. At that time, he was counted among the best entertainers. At 22, John became the youngest member of Chicago's most popular comedy group, Second City. With time, John became the star of that show. His journey started with theater, which took him to the world of TV and films. His popularity was gradually increasing. People began getting impressed by his excellent performance. Belushi became friends with many people. He bought some property in New York and married a lovely girl. Belushi was truly living his dream. There was no shortage of anything in his life, and people were really into him. But despite everything, he was not happy inside. He was suffocating inside. Gradually, he became addicted to drugs. From the outside, it seemed that he had everything, but from the inside, he felt utterly alone and lost. He tried to fill this void with drugs, and an overdose of these drugs took his life at the age of 33. Now, let us turn to that other man. Let's look at Michelle's story. One night, Mitchell rode a motorcycle on the highway at 65 kilometers per hour. It was very dark there. Suddenly, something distracted him, and Michelle looked at the roadside. He didn't even get time to react when he looked ahead again. A big truck suddenly stopped before him. But Mitchell was still at 65 kilometers per hour. He tried to stop the motorcycle by pressing the brakes. It seemed like time had stopped for him. Everything was happening slowly. Mitchell wanted to stop the bike somehow. But by the time this happened, he had come under the truck. The gas cap of his motorcycle had come out, so all the oil started gushing out, and he was engulfed in flames. Michel became unconscious due to this terrible accident. When he regained consciousness, he was in the hospital. There was so much pain in his entire body that he could not even move. He was severely burnt, and even the shape of his face was severely affected. But Michel neither despaired nor lost courage. After recovering, he got back to his business. But unfortunately, he became a victim of another accident. One day, the plane they were traveling in crashed. This time, Michel was paralyzed from the waist down, which meant that he would have to remain in a wheelchair for the rest of her life. Any person could have broken down after such traumatic events, and Michel could have met the same end as Belushi. He could have spent the whole day sitting in a wheelchair, drinking beer, watching TV, and isolating himself from the world. But he did nothing like that. Instead of being sad, Michel showed the passion to live life again. He continued his business and became a millionaire. He met many influential people. He lived a happy married life in Colorado with his wife and children. To do this, Tony teaches neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP. Simply, it means programming your mind to fill it with the right thoughts, so you can take the right action or decision, and we can move forward by maintaining positive behavior. Stay in enabling state. There are many days when we feel very irritable. We think that everything is going wrong in life. We tell ourselves that it is my unlucky day. On the other hand, there are many days when you feel very positive. Your work, family, relationships, and everything else are going well. But why does this happen? You are the same person. Still, why are there some days when you fail, and others when you win at everything? Sometimes life seems to be under our control, and sometimes life is just passing by. So the reason for this difference is which state you are in. There are two states of our mind. One is the enabling state, which gives us power and makes us capable. This happens when your mind is full of happiness, love, confidence, strength, and faith. The second one is the paralyzing state. This occurs when your mind is filled with fear, sadness, doubt, and anxiety. The power to get out of this paralyzing state and remain in the enabling state is already present in all of us. You have the power to control your brain. You can create this enabling state as you wish, and it will not take as much time as a pinch. Let us learn about this fantastic quality from this story. Carl Wallenda was an expert acrobat. For years, Carl performed such stunts in the air that anyone would be surprised to see them. He won the hearts of the audience by performing many dangerous stunts. It never even occurred to him what would happen if he fell. He was full of both confidence and art. But then one day, something happened. He saw himself falling. This image was only in his mind, but Carl could not get it out. He was reminded again and again how fast he was falling. This scene started following him like a shadow. And this would happen, especially when he tried to do stunts in the air. Months passed like this, and one day Carl fell. This was the first and last time he lost. Why do you think this happened? How did just an imagination turn into reality? The answer is that when a thought comes to you, it sends signals to your mind. That thought changed the state of his mind, and his behavior changed. Carl had given a new direction to his brain. Now, his brain started constantly flashing this image, and one day it became real. Now, let's look at a different situation. Dick Toomey was a college football coach in Hawaii. He knew very well how to get the best performance from his team. A championship game was going to be held in Wyoming, for which his team was also working very hard. This was a tough challenge for Tommy's team. At last, the day of the match came. Tommy's team could have been better routed on the field. It was halftime, and the score was 22-0, which favored the opposing team. It seemed like it was the unluckiest day for Tommy and his team. All the players were feeling disappointed and defeated. During break time, everyone was sitting in the locker room, their heads bowed down, losing hope. There was only one thing going on in everyone's mind. They could not beat the team in front in the remaining time. Everyone thought they would lose very severely, except their coach, Tommy. Tommy had been collecting inspiring articles for years, including stories of teams that were well behind by a big score on match day, just like Tommy's team was behind today. These stories were about teams that suddenly came back and turned the game around. Now, Tommy shows his collection and puts it before his players. He asked everyone to look at those victory pictures and headlines, to remember that image in their mind. Then he told them, if these teams can do it, we can also do it. It is still not impossible for us to win, because there is time left before anything happens. After listening to the words of their coach, the players got new enthusiasm and they went on the field with energy, as if they were playing their last match. And to be honest, this spirit was all that was needed. From the score of 0 in the first half, they reached 27 in the second half. His team won the match with an extraordinary score of 27. Just like that, you can change any situation completely. Don't let your mind go into a paralyzing state. You can focus on your thoughts and can change it to an enabling state anytime. It is not difficult. You need to try. Trust yourself. Whenever we hear words like belief or faith, we associate them with religion. But belief is not just about religious books. Whatever thing or principle gives us direction or guidance in life can be called belief. This is your way of looking at the world. Our beliefs give orders to our nervous system. When you believe something, it becomes your truth, and it gives you the power to take action. Pablo Casals was a great musician. He was adept at playing the piano and many other musical instruments. At the age of 90, he suffered from arthritis and emphysema. His hands were swollen, and his fingers had started bending. Not only this, he also started having trouble breathing. After reaching this age, even getting up in the morning became difficult for him. It took him a long time to get up. He strolled, and his back was bent. He started needing help even for simple tasks like changing clothes. Every morning before breakfast, Pablo would go to his piano. Although even sitting on the chair in front of the piano had become a difficult task for him, he changed completely when his fingers touched the piano. Then, he would not have become a sick older man, but a fine artist, and would play the piano like a vigorous young man. When his bent fingers fell on the piano keys, anyone could get mesmerized by listening to his tune. His hands were attracted to the piano like plants are to sunlight. When he played the piano, his back was less bent, and he did not have much difficulty breathing. His deep faith in music helped him overcome his illness. He played the piano so much that his stiff fingers became manageable again. He would become a completely different person. When he would wake up after completing a musical piece, he would stand straighter, increase his walking speed, walk to the dining table, and happily have breakfast. After this, we would go outside to enjoy the fresh air. So, what was the secret of this miracle? The reason for this was a placebo effect. But what is this placebo effect? This is a concept of medical science. in which the patient is given a pill that is empty from the inside. That is, it neither contains any medicine nor healing properties. An experiment was conducted to test this concept. Some patients suffering from ulcers were divided into two groups. The first group was given medicine and told they would get immediate relief after taking it. The second group was also given a pill and said that experiments were still going on that medicine, and that after some time, it would be completely ready. Both groups took the medicine as per the instructions. Of 10,000 patients in the first group, 70% said the medicine had shown its effect. After eating it, they felt immediate relief. Only 96 patients in the second group felt the same. But why did it happen? Both groups were given the same medicine, which had no healing properties. That pill was empty inside, but the researchers had assured the patients that one medicine was very effective and efficient, while the other was still being tested. The result that came out surprised everyone. Many doctors have proved that it is not just about taking medicines. When a patient truly believes that he can recover, his body can read the signals from the mind and he begins to heal. Has it ever happened to you that your mother asked you to bring salt, and when you go to the kitchen you look around, and after looking around for a few minutes you tell her that you did not find salt? Your mother herself goes to the kitchen and immediately gets salt. Why does this happen? Often that thing is correct before you. You cannot see it. The reason why you did not get the salt is your belief. The moment you say, I can't find it, or I don't know where it is kept, you give orders to your brain, and it actually cannot find the salt bottle. Use positive instead of negative words, and your body and brain will support you. Understand the lie of success. The lying that Tony is referring to here is not about cheating or dishonesty. We never know whether what we believe is true or false. Even scientists and geniuses can never be sure about this. Honestly, it doesn't matter. As long as your faith works for you. That's all that matters and nothing else. Does your faith energize you? Does it make you a better person every day? Does it add color and enthusiasm to your life and help in improving the lives of others? If yes, then your beliefs are your lies of success. You don't know 100% whether your beliefs are right or wrong, yet they help take you to where you want to go. Tony lists 7 such beliefs. You can add to this list the beliefs that make you feel good. Let's know about some of those beliefs. Belief 1. So the first belief is everything happens for a reason. There is some reason behind everything happening. This thinking makes successful people utterly different from ordinary people. Successful people only see positive things in every situation. Successful people try to find the slightest possibility, even when others think there is no way out of a problem. They see failure as a lesson and an opportunity to be successful. Now, take the story of Marilyn Hamilton. She was a successful business owner in California. When she was young, she practiced teaching and became a beauty queen, Miss State of her state. But one day, she met with a terrible accident. Marilyn had gone mountain climbing and fell from a cliff there. From that very day, she became paralyzed from the waist down. Marilyn could adopt negative thinking and complain about things that were no longer possible for her to do. But instead, she focused on the things she could do. Marilyn was fed up with the wheelchair she was using. So she thought, why not make a better one? Then it occurred to her that there would be many people just like her, who would be victims of some disability. So why not make their lives a little easier by making wheelchairs for them? So Marilyn contacted those friends who had gone with her for mountain climbing that day. Together, they designed a new wheelchair for Marilyn. After this, they all formed a company called Motion Designs. Within a few years, her small business became a $1 million company. Always remember one thing, that small thinking never lets you become big. If you always see problems and obstacles in every situation, you may need to make a change. Try changing your perspective. It will change your life, so you will be surprised. Belief 2. The second belief is there is no such thing as failure. There are only results. Successful people look at failure from a different perspective. Even if something wrong happens to them, they see it as the result of their actions. So, they try again with a different approach and see if they reach different results. Successful people keep trying until they get what they want. Let us understand from this story. Once upon a time, a man who, when he turned 21 years old, suffered a lot of loss in his business, thinking that the company was on the verge of closure. At the age of 22, he tried his luck in the field of law, but he failed there. He tried business again, but failed again at the age of 24. At the age of 26, he lost the girl he loved very much. At 27, he had a nervous breakdown. Then, he stood for election on behalf of the Congress Party and failed again at age 34. He once again stood for the position of senator at 45 and for the post of vice president at 47, but again lost. Finally, at the age of 52, he got success when he was elected president of America. The person we are talking about is the great Abraham Lincoln. He lost many times in life, but he never gave up. He did not let negative thoughts and emotions dominate him. Lincoln rose above all this and became a personality still remembered as America's best president. Belief 3. The third belief is that long-term success can only be achieved by making a long-term commitment. Study successful people in the field of business, sports, or politics. You will understand that, in reality, they are not the most innovative, intelligent, or vital in their field, but they are the people who have an unwavering commitment to their work. Larry Bird is a professional basketball player. He is considered one of the best players in the history of basketball. You will be surprised to know that in an agility game like basketball, Larry strolls and cannot even jump very high, but still he becomes a precious player. The reason for this is his tremendous commitment. He practices many times more than everyone else. His determination and enthusiasm make him different from others. Because of this, Larry kept improving his skills. Although this game has many tall and agile players, they must maintain Larry's high performance. Thank you, friends. This was the book summary of Unlimited Power, in which you learned about Tony Robbins, the ultimate success formula, and neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. You learned that our mind has two states, enabling and paralyzing, and you have the power to always keep it in the enabling state. You understood the power of our beliefs, and we learned about some parts of the 7 lies of success. There is potential hidden inside you that you have not used yet. The lessons you learn in this book will help you discover your unlimited power. Tony and his followers have proved it by doing so. So, change your perspective and try to see the countless opportunities right before you. There is no limit to what you can achieve. It's time to make an unbreakable commitment to yourself. Thank you, friends. I hope you found this book summary very amazing, and a new energy grew inside you. If you want a similar book summary, then please tell us by commenting. See you soon with more amazing videos. Thank you so much.